Nemuru Mayu, otherwise known as Sleeping Cocoon, is a unique dungeon crawling slash style puzzle game that was released for the PlayStation in 1999, and this is a very rare styled obscure game that was only seen in Japan that has a lot of RPG style elements mixed into the gameplay, as the game plays from a first person style perspective but utilizes more so kind of like still images, but will transition into various animations depending on different occurrences or different triggers based off of how you play the game at different points. It is definitely more of a slow paced style game, and the gameplay itself, if you're familiar with the iconic Wizardry series that would have been seen on the likes of the PC and earlier personal computers of previous generations, the game itself takes much inspiration from that series of games and plays very, very like it. So there's very little information really known about the game online. I have been able to find a few articles related to the game's story, and they do give a detailed outlay of what the game represents. But for many, a lot of people wouldn't even know the game exists, and the fact is that it was released in Japan only, and it utilises Japanese dialogue. It will confuse many players that are fans of these style of games, as it can take a bit of getting used to trying to figure out the controls and how your choices and the things that you do influence your progress in the game. So at many points, even for myself personally, when I was playing the game, there's certain points in the game where you will just get completely stuck and you're not really sure of where to go. And again, a lot of it is due to the various choices that you make, and even regards to the language barrier, because it's one of those games, if there was a fan translation, which I'm sure at some point there would be, and I think this game would need that would be your outlay to try and figure out exactly what to do, as to many people that aren't used to these style of games will find it very, very confusing. And even for myself personally, because I wouldn't have played a lot of these games over the years. Yes, I've seen them in action, but I always found them to be a bit confusing. They're definitely for a more different style of player, and a player that is more strategic in how they approach different situations, and that is okay with playing at a much slower pace. For most people that want more faster style gameplay, this wouldn't be the game for them. But if you do look online, you can find some references, even though there's not really much information, but you can find some references regarding the game's overview and details, and it will give you some idea of how to approach the various aspects that the game has to offer. So what I have been able to find is that the game comprises that you can choose up to 4 different types of characters, and each have their own set of levels to go through. And like your typical dungeon crawler game, there's a certain number of floors that you have to progress through with a variety of type of levels. So there can be a variety of different types of floors within that level to go through. And if you're patient enough with these games, you'll know that it will take a while for you to get through them, because you will have to solve puzzles and encounter many entities and enemies along the way that will stop you or try to hamper your progress. But you will need to progress and find all of the hidden items in order to unearth a lot of the game's kind of hidden mysteries and game lore. And the battle system as well, from what I have played it myself, is quite unique, because you have to target different hit points or different body parts of each of the enemies, and you have to literally incapacitate them one by one in order to progressively try to eliminate the enemy. So it will take a while to do so, so there's definitely a strategic element to it. But again, I found myself at certain points where I just got completely stuck, because even when I was hitting something, nothing really happened, and honestly I didn't know really what I was doing, or what if I was doing something right or I was doing something wrong. But that's just down to the control system, and the fact is that with it being a Japanese game, not understanding the language will definitely hamper your progress in the game itself. So it would be one of those games that would highly recommend from a fan translation to at least make it worthwhile for many players. But it's just one of those long forgotten quirky games that were released on the PlayStation that many people don't really know about, and it has a lot of experimental elements that is very unique for what it tries to represent. Now it may not be, or it won't be for everybody, but if you're a fan of more strategy style games, and more so if you're a fan of older school type of games like such as the Wizardry series, and even even more to the point those type of dungeon crawlers that would have been iconic on earlier kind of consoles and even likes of the computers or PCs of the time. This will definitely be right up your street. You'll find a lot in this game to keep you playing for quite a while. It's an interesting concept, but again, it is suited to a more specific style of player. But I would love to know your thoughts on this game if you have played it yourself, and if so, what did you think of it overall? Do you enjoy these type of dungeon crawl or strategy style games? And if so, what stories do you have about them in general? Be sure to share it in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be updated of future videos. And if you would like to see more content around other types of unique and quirky or even obscure style games that were released on the PlayStation similar to this game, then you can check out the playlist here on screen to see more of those games in action. And as always, keep those gaming memories alive.
You